Well, continuing with the fourth part of our study about the institution that did not consolidate it, and after making a whole analysis, which we consider very interesting, we must continue with what we have been studying. That is why, when beginning his prodigious and unparalleled ministry, because truly there has not been another ministry like his, unique in the history, even though there have existed extraordinary people throughout the times. Of that there are many stories that gathers it. Nonetheless, nobody can be compared to the prodigious and unparalleled ministry of Jesus the Messiah. In other words, it is an undisputed fact. Jesus started immediately to question the old faith, and what had flourished around it in a pagan and blasphemous way, to the unique and true God. Those questionings led him to say in Matthew 21:13, and said unto them, It is written, My house shall be called the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. Those words, even though were not understood in those days, can be understood nowadays, because it is our duty to establish a universal truth, and that is that there exists only one temple authorized by God himself, and that is also considered his house, and that is the famous Temple of Solomon, and that after being destroyed was rebuilt by Zerubbabel, and renovated and expanded by Herod the king, which was destroyed by the Romans, fulfilling the words of Jesus in Matthew 24:2, that sentences, And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down, until it is constructed once again for the destruction of the beast, known by the well-versed in prophecy as the third temple. As we can observe, all the framework that the Church of God is trying to establish in this study carries within things that are very fundamental and elemental, but that does not undermine the idea that they are truths, and that these truths are not put to be known, because one of the problems that we have in the search of the truth is that we like to find it, but that's it. But the sense of the truth is not finding it, but to make it part of our lives. That is why look what an extraordinary, difficult, and complicated challenge Jesus the Messiah faces when he came to the earth, and when he begins that prodigious and unparalleled ministry, because at the same time that he has to reveal and let the will of God be known about many aspects, he also has another task: to face the ancient faith that was already totally deformed, corroded, and corrupted. We talk about the Jewish faith. So imagine what a contrast, that it is supposed that he is about to come, and it is supposed that he has servants that are supposed to attend him, but being here he discovers that nothing of that is true, but all the contrary, that he has enemies, usurpers, thieves, avaricious, greedy, perverse, even satanics. Look what a terrible thing. And this happens because when he cometh, he faces this great reality in great truth. So this declaration that sentences, Matthew chapter 21 verse 13 is a very complicated sentence. And it is complicated because the Messiah as we call him, is taking us to a very interesting moment of Jewish history. We will not delve in the Judaic topic because it is not the core of the issue. We have much to say, much to question, and much to contrast. But it draws our attention very powerfully that so delicate aspect, very, very delicate, was approached by the Messiah himself and gave to us as a present, an illustration, a vision, a defined criteria, and above all the thought and will of God regarding Herod's temple. That is how it was coined before, and shamefully, painfully, and sadly, he reveals to us that the thought of God and the criteria that God handles regarding that temple is that that temple that supposedly was the house of God was not anymore, but had been converted in a den of thieves. So imagine what a delicate thing this is, because it was supposed that the temple of God was a holy and most holy place. Remember that according to how it was distributed by the same will of God, there was a holy place and a most holy place. But according to the words of the Messiah, that temple, since a long time ago, had left to fulfill one of its most fundamental purposes, that was to be a house of praying. So look what an extraordinary thing, that a temple, instead of being a place of humility and of simplicity, because the prayer is humble and simple, is one of the components that it has, they had corrupted it and had made it a den of pagans and sinners, and where they kept things that contaminated the temple, and a den of thieves. And if it was a den of thieves, it's because in it they stored the things that they had stolen and subtracted from other places. We would like to address this issue with more precision, with more time, but we will commit the grave mistake of abstracting from the subject that we are addressing, and that is why we consider not to be appropriate. So imagine yourselves how it is painful, pitiable, and sad that the representation of God personified in Yeshua HaMashiach, in other words, Jesus the Messiah, had to denounce, reveal, and let it be known that the Jewish faith had already corroded the sacred temple of God, or the holy and most holy temple of God, and that these barbarians and abusives had come to the extreme of converting it in a den of thieves. So that means that the temple was the den, and surrounding the temple the thieves were protecting the den. What an extraordinary thing, what a pitiable thing, what a sad thing. But in reality, in the truth, and this contrasts with what nowadays we have in the institution that did not consolidate it, that a bunch of religious groups that have countless of temples that they call the house of God, and look how they argued that what they have is the house of God. But if the temples suffer that destiny, with much more reason that what has less glory and honor. As religious groups, they will follow also that same destiny. They turn into dens of thieves. What an incredible thing. So definitely what we are here contrasting, what is being revealed to us, is that these religious groups are not churches. They are dens of thieves. What a terrible thing. And that you have to understand it. You have to capture it. So that you are seeing, so that you can see. And here you can hear. And not commit the mistake of hearing, hear not, and seeing, see not. Because that will be pitiful. We hope that this new part of this lesson is fulfilling its purpose of revealing you the truth of God, and that you have the opportunity of continuing studying the Scriptures. That is why the Church of God puts to your disposition its web page, and the address is churchofgod.tk, so that you can check it, get to know the Facebook pages, because there you can find the links. If you want a study by email, you can ask for it. And there are other resources that can help you. Also, the church puts to your disposition of all its listeners an email so that you can write to us. And you can share your concerns, your questions, your doubts, your commentaries, also your questionings. Also, if you want a specific topic to be addressed, we will gladly be answering them. The email is thelastchurch7 in number, okay, gmail.com. We hope that this approach of such an extraordinary topic, so particular and special, can make you see the different truths that nowadays have been concealed and that are not correct nor true, nor are the will of God. We are grateful for the attention given, and we will continue with the study. Thank you.